What's good, y'all? So I got a long and deep and rich history, deep lore about video games and me personally. I've been gaming pretty much for as long as I can remember before I even gained consciousness in this world. And I just wanted to map out kind of like a timeline of like where I started and where I ended. So here's my childhood game consoles all the way up to the present. Oh yeah, and handhelds as well. All right, so first things first, bitch. I'm nothing like you niggas. And what I mean by that is that my parents and siblings were gamers. Mostly my dad, but my mom played chill shit like The Sims. So what this meant was that I got a lot of hand-me-downs and I played shit that came out when I was a fetus. I was born in 2002. Yeah, I'm an old ass man. Oh wait, hold on. I realize y'all can't see the picture, but it's the fish jumping out the bowl of the other fish saying I'm nothing like y'all. Because every time I talk to somebody that was born in like my generation, they always like they have the surprised emoji face when I tell them that my parents were gamers as well, and that I was able to play old ass consoles because of them. It's just I know it's not just me obviously, but it's a rare thing apparently. Also, I wasn't an ungrateful piece of shit, so I had no trouble playing pixel dick graphics in 2012, and you'll see what I mean later when I go over all the consoles that I played. And also, I played a lot of rated M games for a reason that I put in number two. And that's basically like the overview. So I hope that answers all the questions that comes up when I go over these consoles. So, goddamn, what was that? So the first thing that I played, the first console that I owned, I would say that is like mine, where people can point at it and be like, "That's Cam's device." Is the Game Boy Advance SP. I know we're coming out swinging right now. One of the best fucking consoles ever. Now I ain't gonna lie, I don't remember anything except for playing Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. You can see the riveting gameplay over there at the top right there. And yeah, honestly, I think this was the first, or maybe early in the game, one of the first levels because I did not get far in this game at all, but I recognized this map to the T, bro. I don't know what the fuck I was doing on this shit. I just knew that I was Harry Potter and that I was Shadow Wizard Money Game. We love casting spells. I think I had Pokemon too, but I don't know. It was I could tell it was old and cheap though. Overall, a pretty cool console. It played Game Boy games. 6 out of 10. Moving on to like the first home console that I could say I owned, and this was a hand-me-down, of course. It was the Sega Dreamcast. Now, looking back on this console, it was a commercial failure. The sales were terrible, and there was barely any games. But hey, we got Jet Set Radio, and that was all I needed, to be honest. No, I did not play Sonic Adventure. I did not play Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 until around like 2013, I think, when it was on the PS3. So the only thing I had was Jet Set Radio, and I think I had the Knights game if that came out on Dreamcast. But I might be wrong, but that was all I needed at the time because I went from those pixel graphics to this motherfucker skating around to music. And everybody knows Jet Set Radio, man. That shit getting remastered as well. Great game. It was enough to make the Sega Dreamcast for me an 8 out of 10. All right, moving on to the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. Now I put these all together because I was like circling around these three. The GameCube was mine, but I shared it with my brother. And the PS2 was mostly my brother's, and then the Xbox was my dad's, which is why I was able to play Halo. Um, and Grand Theft Auto and stuff, that was like my sister's games, but we just took over. I ain't gonna lie, we was just touching everybody's shit at the time. But the GameCube was really the one that I played. Everyone was like, ew, GameCube, that's the kiddie game. We're gonna play fucking Halo and Grand Theft Auto. Well, guess what, bitch? I was able to play Sonic Mega Collection Plus and Sonic Heroes. And this is about the time that I started my Sonic addiction, basically. And just a quick note about that. No, I was not in the Sonic fandom. I'm very aware of it, but I didn't make OCs or fanfics or anything. I'm just a regular ass guy who liked the Sonic stuff, and I went on the internet and just looked up a couple stuff, but I wasn't participating in that crazy shit that y'all probably thinking about. But yeah, overall, man, this was a great era for me. There's a lot more games than this, but these are like the main ones I can think of right now. And we're talking about three consoles right now, right? I can't remember every single fucking game, nook and cranny that I played. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you a couple games that I didn't get to enjoy that a lot of people think fondly on. Luigi's Mansion I had, but I didn't really like it. I think I was a pussy ass kid. I was scared of that game. But I went back and played it on the emulator. It's a great game. What are some other shits? Oh, I didn't have Smash. I did my first Smash game was Brawl, but we'll get to that. I didn't have Smash, but I pretty much played all your favorites aside from those little hit guys over there. Oh, and you know me being a Sonic fan, I was a huge Mario hater. I didn't hate Mario, and I started warming up to him later on in the Wii era. But like you know the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox days is when you know you just kind of had to be loyal to Sega, even if they weren't making consoles anymore. You know, so it was kind of like a general rule to just not be a like a Sonic fan and a Mario fan. So I missed out on a lot of the games in this era that Mario was dishing out, but I got Sonic instead. So also the Mega Collection Plus is how I was able to get my hands on a lot of the Genesis games. And we'll talk about this at 360, but I also played the Super Genesis Mega Collection Ultra Max, which allowed me to play shit like fucking Comic Zone, Golden Axe, and Streets of Rage and shit like that. But moving on. Oh, I didn't rate this shit. I give it a 9 out of 10. Oh shit, almost forgot. Yeah. So you probably looked at this shit and you got like the fucking PTSD face, looking like the motherfucking the World War soldier when you saw this fucking console here. But yeah, if your parents got this, I feel bad for you. This shit is nostalgic as fuck, but that's about where the good stuff ends. I remember playing Jumpin' Bee Island on the V Flash, or maybe the no, it was right there. Yeah, the V Flash. That was a weird disc like cartridge thing. That looks like the PSP shit. But yeah, I remember playing fucking Jumpin' Bean Island. This game stunk, bro. Like those shitty ass educational games, like they kind of are, they kind of suck ass when you already play cool shit like Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas, and like Bully from the Rockstar games. Like when you get your hands on that shit, the educational games just fucking stink to you. And I know some of y'all probably started off on some bullshit like this, and it's probably very fond to you. But I need you to understand that imagine going from fucking Vice City to Jumpin' Bean Island. I don't know why my parents even got me this shit. I played it for like a week. And then like my parents have this like terrible habit of thinking that because I enjoyed something one time, I'm gonna fucking love it the second time. So they got me the V Smile and the V Flash, both of which collected fucking dust under my PS3 when I got that shit eventually. Which brings me to the next topic. The Wii, Xbox 3. Oh shit. Rating 1 out of 10. Which brings me to my next topic, the 7th generation. Now this is where things get real. You know what I'm saying? This shit I definitely remember. And I played this shit a lot. This is when I became that fucking Dorito stinky finger fucking hunchback gamer like guy. You know what I'm saying? This is where it all began. This is where I started playing multiplayer games, fucking joining parties and shit, man. It all happened in the span of like years, but like it's kind of hard to just go through that entire era. I'd rather just bundle it up. And what you see here is a list of all the games I got. I went on PlayStation Network profiles or whatever. This is just the account that I made in 2011. I actually had an old account which had a little bit more games, but this is enough to pretty much tell you guys like what I was playing. Also, there's a couple PS4 games in here. Just ignore that. But yeah, this is just my PS3 library here. It just keeps fucking going, man. It's fucking Scott Pilgrim versus the World, Jetpack Joyride, Saints Row the Third, Payday, fucking Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto. Oh, and by the way, some of these games were so good that I bought them again on the 360. Fucking Sonic Adventure 2. Like, it was crazy. Like, oh yeah, the fucking The Last of Us, man. I can't believe that came out in 2013. Yeah, the 7th generation consoles were a banger, bro. And we got a couple more here. These are some of the games that I just like. I don't know why Sonic 2 is so low. I'm pretty sure I 100% that game. Sonic 4 Episode 2. The game stunk, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I got all the Chaos Emeralds and everything. What the fuck? Whatever. I'm getting off track. But anyway, that was just my PS3 library, bro. The Xbox library is probably even more because I actually had that first, but my dad was playing on it a lot, so I didn't get time to like build a library of games on it. I was mostly playing Call of Duty and a couple other multiplayer games and shit like Halo on that. But my Xbox library is probably a little bit more just because of the Xbox Arcade and all that other like shit that would just transpired in the Xbox 360 era. Wii is probably a little bit less. We did get the Wii in 2007, I believe. Some notable games like Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games, Super Mario Galaxy, Smash Bros. Brawl. Ah man, it just doesn't fucking stop. Like they was just dishing out bangers, man. It was crazy. The seventh generation is insane, bro. And like it's kind of sad to me because we'll never get that back. But man, I had so many great memories. Maybe it was just because I was a kid, but I also firmly believe that games were just built with a little bit more passion in this era. In this era specifically, like just down to the very last fucking games, so like GTA 5 and fucking Last of Us. Those games at launch were just, mwah, oh my god, I can't believe we got those in the same year, man. But yeah, I played a lot of games in this era. If you played it, I at least heard of it. Oh, you know what? Another Wii candidate, another Wii game that I played was Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. If you know about that, you the fucking goat. That was the OG Spider-Verse, man. Overall, I give this fucking era a 10 out of 10. It's a little bit overrated, but it's still perfect, man. Down to the minute fucking details, bro. Moving on. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I just gotta give a big shout out to Lil Big Planet too, man. This fucking game was my life, bro. If you go on my TikTok page, you see I have two Lil Big Planet TikToks, and it's just people fawning over how great this game was. If you didn't play this, you missed out. You can't even go back and play it. You can emulate it, but the best part was the community, which is gone now because they shut down the servers. But you just had to be there, bro. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I genuinely feel sorry for you, and I don't say that often. I'm usually the kind of guy who says, "Oh, there'll be a next Little Big Planet, or there'll be a next game like this." I don't think there'll ever be a game like this again. You genuinely missed out, bro. This was the closest you were gonna get to the pearly gates. All right, PS4 and Xbox One. Yes, I had both. But I'm sorry to say, Xbox fans, this wasn't even a competition. If you think this was a competition, you are biased and you are wrong. The PS4 outsold this shit by a lot. And not even just talking about sales, but there was just a lot going on in the Xbox department that just was not hitting, bro. I don't have to go back to E3. I think we all know that song and dance by now. I hate the console wars, but you gotta admit it. Like, it was just a fucking bloodbath. Sunset Overdrive is probably like the best game that came out on the Xbox One, in my humble opinion. I got Infamous Second Son up there because this was the first PS4 game where I sat there and said to myself, like, wow, we are in the next generation. I will say compared to like this year, like generations, like next generation, like the PS5 and the Xbox Series, like going from the PS3 to the PS4 truly felt like a different dimension, right? Like, yes, we had GTA 5 and The Last of Us, which kind of pushed the limits of the 7th gen consoles. But oh my god, even going back to like Second Son and Sunset Overdrive, I'm playing these games. I'm like, holy shit. Like, this is the future, bro. Like, this is what games were like meant to look like. You feel me? Like, the graphical fidelity in both these old ass titles is insane. These things are turning like 10, right? I think they already are. Holy, I got, wow, holy shit. But there wasn't a lot of promise because going forward towards the end of the 2010s, the things started kind of getting a little bit ass. I ain't gonna lie, and I hate to be the guy who screams doomsday whenever multiplayer games starting to suck, but like we have to admit it, man. A lot of us got into gaming because of the social multiplayer aspects, and when those aren't hitting, it kind of gets a little stale, you know. And I feel like the end of the PS4 and Xbox One generation is when corporations kind of got greedy and they started banking off of microtransactions and live service updates and stuff instead of just making a genuine like full-fledged like not console, a full-fledged genuine game that was like finished start to like from start to finish, just a great experience. But now we just push out like half-ass games and just update them and just hope that they're good later down the line rather than trying to put out a game that works. It's becoming less of a problem now in 2023 with this year, but it was definitely very hard going forward. If you think I'm lying, here are the 2021 Game of the Year nominees. Now, no hate to these games, don't get me wrong, these games were okay. But compare this to my last video, right? Where I was talking about the nominations, bro. Like almost every category, except for Baldur's Gate being in there in the mix sometimes, almost every category was a toss up. Here, we know what the Game of the Year is. There was nobody like questioning. It was like it was Ratchet and Clank, bro. Like But yeah, pretty good overall. But the corporatism sucked the fun out of multiplayer games in general. But I don't only play multiplayer games, so it wasn't that bad. So I give this a 7.5 out of 10. And I know I'm missing a couple games that came out in the late stages of the PS4 and Xbox One era, but it just doesn't make up for like this the fucking shitty hand we've been dealt. Also, this was the time where like Call of Duty became very, very, very fucking ass. The game franchise that I loved all the way up until like I want to say Black Ops 2, man. And then after that, it just started getting downhill, man. I still played it, but the fun wasn't there anymore. It was just kind of doomsday for multiplayer games in general. It's crazy to me how some of y'all youngins debuted it in this era. I was just gonna say good luck, man. It's getting better, but the fact that you guys came up on this era, ooh, y'all don't know better. Y'all just don't know better. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, so this is a little intermission around I think like 2019. That's when I got a laptop that could actually run games. Yes, it was this exact model, and I was just playing fucking Skyrim on it. But holy shit, I played Skyrim on the 360, so I knew what the vanilla experience was like, and I loved it. But then I got mods, right? And this is 2019 Skyrim modding, right? So everything was fleshed out already. We had everything figured out. Everybody was just putting out some big ass mods. I didn't even have to wait. I was just modding the fuck out that game, and oh my god, I changed the entire game, bro. It was like I was playing Skyrim 2. Modding in general is when I realized I have got to get a fucking PC. So I did exactly that. I couldn't get a picture of my PC even though it was right fucking here. I'm just too fucking lazy. So here this neckbeard ass guy playing Cold War. I don't know why I picked this picture. This is probably the most miserable anyone's ever been on a fucking computer playing fucking Cold War. This actually shakes my bones thinking about it. But yeah, I can go on and on about PC gaming, but if you know, you know, man. And if you don't, find out, because I'm not about to rant. This video is not gonna be 30 minutes. Let's just say that I can play every game that was shown in this video so far and more, plus everything a computer can do from modding to just general work, video editing, streaming, etc., bro. I don't think I can go back. But I say that, and then I got a Series S, LMAO. I'm not gonna lie, the Series S is fairly rated, but I think people who care about physical media give it a hard time. If you don't give a fuck about preserving physical media, you don't mind downloading shit, and you don't mind the 500 gigabyte storage space, which is kind of crazy because that's like 4 games in today's age, probably even 3 games. Yeah, the storage kind of sucks dick, but for $300 you get a next gen experience, and honestly, you can't get that anywhere else. You can't even build a computer for $300 that can play some of the games that the Series S plays. And I think that's just a feat in itself. I love cheap ass hardware that can do good things, and the Series S is one of them. I use the Series S as my little like backup like gaming console if I just want to like move around. Say like I'm going over somebody's house, but I don't want to bring my whole fucking PC. I just grab this little ass bag of chips size console with the controller, a HDMI cord, and a power cord, and then I just I can just plug and play. You know what I'm saying? And people use that as a reason to get a console over a PC, but like you can't really the PS5 and the Series X is not really the most mobile examples I can think of. Like come on now, those things are just like they built like. So I think the PS5 is taller than my PC actually, and we all know the Series X is like a fucking mini fridge in itself. So the Series S is the only console in the next gen era that is like winning the fucking portability. I guess if you want to count the Switch too, but yeah, it's like the most bang for buck console. That's why I got it. I got it. I actually got it on OfferUp. Somebody was selling it for $90, so that was just a gimme. And it lets me play games that are in crossplay. There are some games like Overwatch, right? Overwatch is crossplay, but I can't play competitive with console people. So if I want to play competitive with my friends who are on console, I can just plug in my Series S, and I'm good to go. Half of y'all are playing 2K4 and FIFA anyway. Some of y'all got the next gen consoles just to play the same fucking shit you can play on the PS4 and the Xbox One. You do not need a $500 device to play 2K. I'm telling you, bro. There's some people who are playing the current gen version of 2K on their PS5 as we speak. So, like, what do you like? You know what I'm saying? But overall, you know what I'm saying? I think the Series S for $300, it's a good deal. But I think it works best as a companion console. What I mean by that is that you should pair it with a more powerful device like a PS5, a series, no, not a Series X. What am I talking about? No one would have both, right? But yeah, I say pair this thing with a PS5 or a PC. That way you get an all-around experience where you can play Sony games, you can play, or if you want to play PC games, and you can play, the whole entire Xbox catalog with Game Pass and stuff like that. It's a nice little entry device, and that's the reason why I got it. It was also $90 for me personally. Yes, I basically just stole from somebody. Not really, but like they sold it to me for $90 because they didn't know how much it was really worth. So I ain't complaining. But yeah, congrats. You guys are caught up on my gaming journey. I can't believe this took 20 minutes to explain to y'all, but it is a really long and rich history. So yeah, from the Game Boy Advance SP Harry Potter, I've evolved all the way. Oh shit. Wait, my fault. Bonus, bonus, bonus. Um so yeah, remember when I said that my dad was a gamer? Yeah, so thanks to him, I was able to play these consoles, the NES and the PS1. The NES is probably the oldest console that I ever held in my hands. I played the original Super Mario and fucking Duck Hunt on that thing. And I'm not talking about no like he didn't buy this off eBay. He didn't like no. He went into the store and bought this thing in the 80s and just had it functioning. I still had to blow on the cartridge and plug that thing in sometimes. Like that's how old it was, right? But like it was mesmerizing, man. I was such a huge video game historian, so I knew about these consoles, but I didn't really get a chance to experience them. It just like it was like touching a museum like display when I was able to play these games. And it was just so fun. I recommend somebody, however old you are, just get your hands on a retro console, an authentic one, and just play a game or two and just experience it like how it is. It really isn't the same as emulating, in my humble opinion. Also, we didn't have any games for the PS1, so I didn't get to experience that. But I did see the starting screen, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, okay, that's definitely the end of this shit. All right, I'll see you on the next one.